Andy Kaufman, a skinny comedian with no athletic ability, he starts wrestling.
I'll take on anybody who wants to come in that ring and volunteer. I'm going to send you back to the kitchen where you belong.
He didn't care if the people hated him. He wanted to get a reaction. This is soap. You put it water on it and you rub it all over your body. Jerry Lawler gets the microphone and says, "Hey, instead of calling him an ambulance, why don't you call him a taxi?" I'm Jim Cornette. I was there when Jerry the King Lawler and Andy Kaufman set the pro wrestling world on its ear and started 40 years of debate. Was it real or was it not? I first became aware of Andy Kaufman. Like everybody else in the country, he started doing television. He wasn't a stand-up comic. He didn't go out and tell jokes. He created characters that you couldn't really tell whether it was him or not. The first time that people saw Andy on television, he did The Foreign Man. So many people were convinced that he was really from Bulgaria somewhere, and that is what led him to get the role as Latka on Taxi.
Forget I said anything. I don't know what I'm talking about.
At that point, he became one of the hottest comedians in the country, even though he was really more of a performance artist. Andy Kaufman was a wrestling fan from the time he was a kid in New York, and his favorite professional wrestler was Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. Buddy Rogers invented a lot of the tactics that the bad guy heel wrestler would use to taunt the fans and the opponents, and Andy was mesmerized by this. He saw the art in the performance, and he starts wrestling on television, talk shows, the Saturday Night Live, wherever he can. But he wrestled women.
I'm going to send you back to the kitchen where you belong. I'm going to have you scrubbing the potatoes.
He understood that pro wrestling was about manipulating people's emotions. But what he really wanted to do was do this on a real professional wrestling event. He goes to Madison Square Garden and asks the promoter of at the time, the WWF, Vince McMahon Sr., the current Vince McMahon's father. And Vince McMahon Sr. turned Andy Kaufman down. He was afraid that it would make wrestling look phony. A comedian, a skinny TV star coming in and wrestling with my talent, just wasn't interested. That night at Madison Square Garden, one of the photographers at ringside was Bill Apter. And Bill gets on the phone, it's midnight, and he calls Jerry Lawler in Memphis. Before the WWE went national, wrestling was a series of geographical, regional territories. Every territory in wrestling had its own style, and Memphis was crazy fights. Memphis was brawling. Memphis was over-the-top violence, but with a level of entertainment and occasionally comedy. Memphis wrestling was a cultural institution, and Jerry Lawler was the biggest box office attraction and the #1 star in the Memphis wrestling territory. And Lawler had just come in from one of their wrestling matches that night when Bill called, and he said, "I got Andy Kaufman here." And Lawler, "What?" "He wants to wrestle." "What?" So the night of the match comes, and the first 1 or 2 or 3 ladies, they were intimidated. They've never done anything like this before. They're dressed in their street clothes. And then, Andy would pin them. But the last lady was named Foxy. And the people started getting behind her because Andy started having a little more trouble. At one point, she even got on top of him, and then the crowd just blew. So the next week, the next Monday night, the people come to see, can Foxy beat Andy Kaufman? And this time, Andy